Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am coming to do a review on Iyanla Fix My Life, Season 5, Episode 12, Part 1, Beyond Repair, Marriage in Crisis. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for being here and subscribing. And to all of my faithful nieces and nephews who have been with me from the long haul, thank you so much for your continued support of Auntie's channel. As you all know, Iyanla Fix My Life is something that, I'm sorry y'all, let me fluff this thing up. This thing's looking crazy. Iyanla Fix My Life is one of the shows that I reviewed from day A, and it is one that I would like to continue to review. I have had so many other things that have been going on, and so I have fallen behind on a lot of my reviews. I promise between today and Monday, I am going to be inundating your boxes with reviews on and catching up on my reviews. But anyway, let me put that to the side and let's get down to the matter. We see Iyanla again, like I said, with a new episode of Beyond Repair, Marriages in Crisis. She is at a safe house again, and she has three couples who are coming in to kind of, make a decision on whether or not they're going to stay together or whether or not they are going to get a divorce. They are marriages in crisis. As we know, in the United States, that the divorce rate is 50%. And that is startling and sad. Very, very sad. When people walk down the aisle and they get married, they don't get married to get a divorce. And so it's really sad to see that the rate of divorce is 50%. 50, that means over half of couples that get married end up getting a divorce. And that is one of the reasons why Auntie absolutely did not jump and over nobody's broom or do anything like that, because I absolutely know that I would have been one of those people who marriage would have been in crisis, because I just never really found anybody who really made me want to be married. And so I opted out of it. If you are married and your marriage is in crisis, know that it can be repaired. And know that you are absolutely free to make a decision to divorce. It's totally up to you. How you want to handle things. Everybody handles things differently. Auntie not here to judge anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to basically do a review. So let me stop faking like I'm a marriage counselor. You understand what I'm saying? Let me stop faking like I'm a marriage counselor and go ahead on and do this review. So the first couple that we see is Marcia and Dwight. Dwight, I'm going to be reading, so excuse me for a while. They've been married for 11 years, and Marcia goes on to say, basically they've been together at 20. When they met, she is currently 39 years old, and he is 54. When they met, she was 19 and he was 33. He was the coach of the camp, and when she graduated, she would come back and see her brother play. And, this man basically liked her, and, they hooked up and they got married to one another. She says, basically they've been together for 20 years and she feels like she is grown up, and Dwight has an issue because Dwight is almost like, I married her as a child and everything. And this was the woman that I was in love with. But how many of you all know that, we've been looking at a lot of different shows and stuff like that. And when you're marrying somebody who was completely and totally out of your generation, eventually one of the people grow up. And I think that this is what has happened with this couple. Marcia talks about that she's not that child anymore, and that she wants to know whether or not, she can even stay, that the woman that she is becoming can even stay in this relationship with him. And, that's really something to think about. You think about a lot of times when people have children and stuff like that real young, they feel like they've missed out on things, and that's what Marcia feel like she did. So she cheated on her husband. She basically had an affair on him. They have 3 children, I believe. And she was just like, hey, I married him at a young age. I missed out. And so, what I'm going to do in order to remedy that thought in my mind, go ahead on and have an affair. And she had an affair on him. She said when she married him, she thought that she was grown. And at 19 years old, yes, you are legally grown, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all of that kind of stuff, you just not ready to be, in a marriage. Back in the day, our parents used to get married very young, but this particular generation is a little different, and people do things a little differently, especially if you're living in a city. It's not, one of those things where, our parents did, marrying very young. People now are doing careers and stuff like that. So I don't, it's been 20 years for them. She believes that her biggest problem with Dwight is communication. He did things his way, he said. And she didn't say anything about it then. But now, she's starting to have a voice in the relationship. And now he wants her to be honest. He wants her to talk and to share about, basically how she feels about the relationship. And guess what? Auntie wanted her to talk and share about it too. I mean, she has really been transparent. She said a lot of things that probably a woman wouldn't say. You know what I mean? So she has talked, but he said that in the relationship between the two of them, that she does not share a lot. And it's probably because he was such an older man and she was a young girl, and he took advantage of that. He later goes on to say that he believed that he took advantage of the fact that she was absolutely younger than him and that he was the oldest, and he did things his way, and he didn't really listen to her and pay attention to anything that she said. And so, you know what? Guess what, Dwight? Now, the rubber has hit the road. She's grown up and she realizes that, okay, he ain't running nothing no more. He ain't running nothing but his mouth. How unfortunate. How unfortunate. She believes that she is evolving into a new woman and wants to know how that new woman will fit into the relationship that she's currently in. And Iyanla asks her, she says, so are you the woman that he married? And she told Iyanla, absolutely not. I am not that woman anymore. So she asks the wife, she says, are we treating what has happened to your wife, or are we treating what you are afraid of? And he said, we're treating both of them. He is afraid. And but he says he's willing to let his wife go in order for her to be happy. When the couples come into the household, they're not sleeping together. Iyanla made it very clear to each one of them, that they're going to have a woman's wing and a man's wing, because basically their relationship is in crisis. When they came in, she was acting like a triage nurse. And she was saying, basically we need to, get your symptoms and your vitals and find out what's going on with you. And so the couples are not staying together. So she tells them to go upstairs, each couple, and they're supposed to write down some things about their relationship. Excuse me. The next couple is Legina and Cornelius. They say that the friendship that they have with each other is what's keeping them together. God diggity damn. The main challenge in their relationship is that Cornelius is cheating. And she says he's been cheating the whole entire marriage. How do you stay with somebody who's cheated the whole entire marriage? Like, I don't have an understanding of that. And again, I think that's probably why I've never been married, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you cheat, I'm out. And that doesn't mean that I did not love you or I didn't have any feelings for you. It just means that I care more about me than I do about you. And I don't want to be dealing with trust issues my whole entire marriage to you. Now, I don't know if I could be the type of woman who will maybe accept a man back, you know, after he's cheated the first time. But the whole entire marriage, you cheated on me? Boo bye. 50%. We're in the 50%. We are officially divorced, boo. Ain't no coming back from that. How do you come back from that? How do you ever trust? How do you ever lay your head down at night and understand and believe and respect this man? Like, how do you do that? I know there's so many women who found themselves in this particular situation, and my heart goes out to you, but not my hand. Because at the end of the day, you have the power to control your environment and what you allow, your negotiables and your non-negotiables. And there's no way in the world that I could deal with that. She says that she feels like, you know, after her dad died, that she is partially responsible because, you know, her dad was her everything, and she doesn't want him to touch her and to sympathize with her or show her anything like that. No, boo, nothing. It's not your fault. This is not your fault. Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm kind of feeling some kind of way about it. But you know what? I ain't never been married. So let me digress off of this. But I have been in relationships, and I've been in long-term relationships with people. I ain't going to be able to do it. I ain't going to be able to do it. I couldn't do it. Iyanla gives her a chart and says, okay, from the scale of 1 to 10, where's your pain? Is it at a 1 or at a 10? She hit a 10. And Cornelius was like, God dang. You know, Cornelius is the type of guy who has that kind of bubbly type of personality. And, you know, he needs attention. You can just tell that he just absolutely needs attention. And guess what? At the end of the day, boo, you ain't get no damn attention from me. And you know, the thing about it is when you have children and you think, okay, let's stay together for the children. Children get affected by what they see. They get affected by what they hear. And you can try to mask it as much as possible and try to act like ain't nothing going on. But let me tell you something. Children are not as dumb as you think they are. And, you know, when you stay in a relationship like that and you have boys, you know, basically what you're telling your boys, it's okay for you to run in and out the house. I don't care how much you communicate out of your mouth. Children are going to do what they see you do and not what they hear you say. They're going to... She says that she saw her mother and father in a healthy relationship, but he didn't. He never saw a healthy relationship. But his grandparents raised him, and that was a healthy relationship. So Iyanla is thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Well, you saw a healthy relationship. So for you to use that as an excuse and say that you don't, you know, you don't have an understanding, like, okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, he says that both his parents, his mother and his father, were in jail. But they didn't raise you. He said that when he was in the grandparents' house, that the grandparents was not only raising him, but raising his mom. Pathology. He says he believes it's hard to respect his wife when he can't respect the person who gave him life. What an excuse. What a cotton freaking excuse. I ain't buying it, boo. Ship it and sell it somewhere else. Because I'm not buying that. He does not feel worthy of his wife. He doesn't feel worthy of himself. The next couple we see is Vicar and Lamar. Lamar, she says, is just a liar. He don't help with the kids. He doesn't do anything. They mad. They fell in love. They were married 4 months later or engaged 4 months later. She said he don't do nothing. He doesn't do anything for them. He's cheated multiple times. And really doesn't have an excuse for it. He says that she came into the relationship with a lot of debt and he didn't know anything about it. he goes on to say that she had $100,000 worth of debt. She said, no, I didn't. And the y'all are looking like, and I'm like, how he, skirt. He said they had bill collectors knocking on the door, delivering letters day after day after day after day. So it seems like, you know what she was looking for? She was looking for a daddy, and he was looking for a wife. And so as a result of him not getting his needs met, he went out and started cheating. And you know what? That is not an excuse, but it's understandable. Because men process things differently than we do. And you know what? From the looks of it, it looks like women do too. Because guess what? Marcia was cheating on her husband because she felt like, you know, she ain't lived that life. It's amazing how childhood trauma, again, over and over, we see has a big effect on how we interact and how we live our lives in our present day. And you know what? Sometimes we have to learn how to just get past our childhood stuff. We got to learn how to heal from that stuff. And then the thing about it is, she says that her husband, 6 months after they were married, that the disrespect and the emotional and verbally demoralizing way that he treated her in front of everybody tore her down to nothing. Like she said that he would be in front of anybody and everybody and just totally disrespect her emotionally, physically, mentally, just disrespect her. Like, and then he's wondering why he got up this morning. His skull is busted, and the frying pan is sitting in the bed beside him. He wondering why, because he gonna sit up there and embarrass me in front of people. That's why Auntie is not married. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep on saying that. That's why Auntie is not married. And marriage is a beautiful thing, and I believe it's honorable, and I believe that God honors it. But that's why Auntie ain't married, because I ain't going to tolerate the bull crap. I'd rather be by myself. See, I can do good by myself. I don't need anybody else in my life to do good. I could do that by myself. And I'm absolutely not going to do bad with another person, because guess what? I ain't doing bad anyway. God has blessed me over and over and abundantly. And whatever things that I go through in my life, I know that he has provided a way of escape. But guess what? I ain't going to drag nobody else, and I ain't going to let nobody else drag me. Bye. She feels like she's been a single mother the whole entire time because he doesn't even do anything for the kids. Yet he sits there and say that that's one of the things he missed most is being with the children. But you ain't did nothing for the kids. So how, and you know, but the thing about it is, if he's not helping you, but why you with him? I don't understand why people stay together like that. I don't have an understanding about it. I just don't. I cannot get an understanding. She lives with her sister and he lives with his mother. And he feels like when he got married, he lost his footing. Excuse me, that's so rude. So rude. But I gotta get this review out. The next day, we see the couples and they come in and they have to discuss with Iyanla the ways in which you infected your marriage. And basically, Legina said feels like she was a doormat to her Cornelius. That she allowed Cornelius, you know, just to cheat, keep on cheating and cheat, walk all over and treat her like she was nothing, and then cheat, and then cheat, and then cheat. Cornelius feel like she wants him to be her father. Yeah, she basically said it. Iyanla told both of them, y'all making it about each other instead of making it about yourselves. What the foolishness is going on. Vahara did not communicate effectively. Her feelings are supported by others. She feels like, you know, she can't hurt anybody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? And Lamar feels like he lied, and he zones out. And he absolutely has zoned out. You can tell that he zoned out from day one. Iyanla basically confronts him about it. You know, basically, you know, she says the lights is on, but ain't nobody home. That's it. He's zoned out. He's out of it. Because number one, in order for him to stay there, he has to make, he has to take accountability for what he's done. And he has to really tell the truth about the whole thing. He said that he went out and he cheated with some promiscuous woman. A promiscuous woman. Also, how about you? You weren't promiscuous, my brother? My brother, you wasn't promiscuous for real? She was promiscuous, and she wanted him real bad. And so, she's like, well, what did you tell your wife when you came home? He said, I didn't even come home. And Cornelius was like, well, man, I wouldn't even be living today to tell that story. Oh, no, you living because you done cheated on your wife several times. So, your wife don't have a problem with you cheating. She just got a problem with you cheating and not coming home. What kind of foolishness is that? And Cornelius, as much as you and your wife, you cheated on your wife, you got the nerve to say something to anybody about anything. My brother, you need to just sit back and chill and don't say nothing. But it's so easy to look at the disrepair in somebody else's yard or the disrepair on someone else's home instead of seeing the disrepair at your own joint. You don't even see that the grass is burnt on your side. You understand what I'm saying? You don't even see that. The grass is burnt on their side. You see their grass burnt, but you don't realize that your grass is burnt. My brother, sit back and shut up. You need to just shut up. Marcia infected her life by cheating on her husband. The wife feels like he was selfish and he took advantage of her because she was young. One thing I like about this particular couple, whether they stay together or not, they are honest about how they feeling right now. And you can't do nothing but have respect for a couple that's going to be honest about the damn thing. Because they don't need to come on there trying to get healed and you're going to sit up there and tell a lie. Iyanla now sits down with the women. Legina thought she could stand tall because of her dad. Her mom lied. Her mom lied to her and said that, it was going to be a perfect life and then just left and the life wasn't perfect. She acted like she didn't know her husband was not a good person and she has a fear of being alone. Iyanla asked her, did you marry the purpose, promise, or the penis? And she said she married the promise that he would be a perfect husband. The wife said he basically didn't have an example of having... Let me just say this. There was a lot going on in this particular episode. When we sit there and we look at her, and how she talks about her husband, Legina, and she basically talks about, how she thought that she could be good enough and that he was going to be the perfect husband. She knew he wasn't. Who you fooling? You're not fooling anybody. Next thing she talks to the men and everything, and Dwight says that he didn't have an example of father. None of them did. She asked him, does he know his wife? He said no. He don't really know his wife. He sure don't. Because she's not that 19-year-old girl anymore. She's 39 now. And you know what? You was used to dating a little kid, so now you got a grown woman. You don't know... You don't know how to handle a grown woman. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know what a grown woman is because you married a 19-year-old girl that you can regulate and control and not even realize that one day she gonna grow up. Lamar says that he cheated with a promiscuous girl. I told y'all that, and he didn't even go home. Iyanla tells them all basically the reason why y'all cheated is because you didn't even know who you were. Because if you knew who you were, you wouldn't dishonor yourself that way. Not so much as your wife, but dishonor yourself. Give your body, freely to all these different women. Scumbag. That's what men do, though. She tells Dwight, you married a child. And he says he may have taken advantage of the fact that she was a child. She asks Dwight, are you willing to let her go? And Dwight says yes, but he's afraid. he makes it about the kids, and he says he wants his family together, but really he's afraid he about to lose his wife, and he is. You know what I'm saying? And Iyanla basically told him, look, your wife is already gone because the woman that you married isn't the woman that's sitting up in here. She wants to be free. She said, if you could have it any way, if you could imagine to have it any way that you want. He says that he wants his family, and he doesn't want his wife in his life if she is not going to be happy. And Iyanla told him, your wife isn't happy now. And why are you with her if you don't want her? You don't want to be lonely. He doesn't want to be lonely. He's in his ripe old age now. He don't want to be lonely. It's better to be lonely without someone than to be lonely with someone. That's how I see it. She tells Lamar that he is living a boy's version in a man's world. I know that's right, Iyanla. That's exactly what she's doing. She said the things that frighten her is that the lights are on and nobody is home. She said you have effed up big time, and you took a woman and 3 children with you. All 3 of y'all fatherless boys. Cornelius goes on, to talk, and she says, how did it feel? He said it made him angry that his mom abandoned him and that he was raised by his great-grandparents, his grandfather, and his grandfather and his father spent time in jail, were incarcerated, and he said he was about to spend 30 years in jail. He was up against some charges that was going to cause him to spend 30 years in jail himself. And Iyanla asked him why. He said drugs. He said everybody in my family either sold it or smoked it or shot it up or did whatever they did with the drugs. So that's all he's seen in his life. And, basically he feels like he's not worthy of his wife. He's not worthy of love. And so she said basically what you do is you slow walk yourself into suicide. And you make it, about all of that so that it doesn't look like you're basically killing yourself. Because he feels like he's not worthy of his wife. He's not worthy of love because he was abandoned by his mother because his mother was incarcerated and just doing her. How many people have that testimony? The thing about it is people always talk about deadbeat dads, and I know that there are a lot of deadbeat dads out there, but we never ever discuss deadbeat moms. And there are a lot of mothers who have messed their children up, whether in the home or outside the home, just from basically abandoning them or, being in relationships with men and making their children, second, their second choice and putting other things before them, including work and a career. We've got to talk about deadbeat mothers. Just because you were inside the home doesn't mean that, you were a mom. His mother was in a home with him, was getting raised by her parents while he was getting... I'm asked. He said that he was locked up for a year and God put him in a predicament. I'm like, God ain't put you in nothing, boo. You made a decision. God said, I'd put before you life and death. I would that you would choose life. That's what I desire that you choose life. But if you choose death, that's on you. That ain't got nothing to do with God putting you in no predicament. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 roads that you can walk down. You can walk down the straight and narrow, or you can take the wide path. That's up to you, my brother. So don't sit up there and talk about God, because God is a sovereign God, and he loves us beyond love. And so, he doesn't want you to perish. He says, beloved, I wish above all things that you have life, and that life more abundantly. You understand what I'm saying? So don't sit up here and talk about what God did and God put you in a predicament. No, you selling drugs put you in a predicament. Get it straight. First, you got to deal with that. Deal with the master first. Then you can deal with everything else. But don't sit up there and talk about what God did and how God put you in this situation. Knick-knack, paddywhack, and give a dog a bone. Because I ain't buying that either, Cornelius. And Iyanla told him, she said, somebody bought a whipped, pick cotton and tobacco so that you could be here. And don't put that in jeopardy. And that's the truth. Somebody gave their life so that you could be here. And the people you selling drugs to. She put a mirror in Cornelius' face, and she said, you keep trying to prove that you are unlovable because you're dealing with abandonment issues. She said, everybody failed you, but you need to grow up and take care of you. You have sex to commit suicide. That's how you mask your feelings and mask what's going on with you. Powerful. Powerful. Do you hear me? Powerful. So, she said, she told all of them, your wives are devastated at the core of their being. At the core of who they are devastated by how you all have treated them. Next, she pulls the women outside, and they go with one of her staff members who's a PhD. You go ahead, girl, you rock it. And they go out and they get some, clothes. She tells them get clothes to express who you are. And then you see the women come back in the house, and Marcia is dressed up. Her name is now Rain. She's dressed up like, a little African goddess, and then some parts of her, just, she got on the skirt and the socks don't match, done nothing on her match. And she says she's dressed up like Rain because she doesn't care what people think about her. The next person we see is Laguna. She comes in and her name is Thought, and she says regardless of what her husband thinks, Mr. Lamar, she still needs some excitement in her life. She dressed up like a little hoochie mama, got her breasts all out and everything. And then we see our other girl, and her name is Sister Mabel. And she wants Cornelius to know, basically, Cornelius, I am still a woman of God. I'm still a godly woman. And so, they basically expressing, who they are. We see that Marcia has totally changed in this process. Iyanla sees her. She sees that this is the breakthrough that she needs. She stands her up, with her husband Cornelius and everything. With her husband Dwight. And she basically lets him know, look, your wife changed, boo. And she stands up and she tells him, you need to tell her how you feel. And he doesn't want to tell his wife that he's afraid to be alone, that he's afraid to leave her. And basically, he feels like she has outgrown him and outgrown him and ready to go. And Iyanla asks her, have you? And the episode goes off. Look, this is going to be, something that's really going to be a little deep. If you are a married couple and you are struggling in your relationship, watching this episode, it just may do something for you. I don't know. Again, I really don't know. I think that it does something for me. It has reinforced that making a decision not to get married was the best decision for me. Because when you know who you are and you know what you will accept and what you will not accept, then you don't set yourself up for failure. And for me, marriage would have meant failure. And yes, I probably have the tenacity and the stick-to-itiveness in order to stay in a relationship. But you know what? I didn't want to. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it. I don't feel like it. No marriage counseling, none of that stuff. So anyway, this is, the end of my review. I thank you all so much for being here. Please, again, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all tomorrow. 90 Day Fiance. But I'm going to be catching up on my other reviews. I've got Mary that's coming at you, live and in living color. You know what I'm saying? They doing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? But I've got to come out here and do that review for you as well. And then also I have This Is Us. I am behind on This Is Us. But I promise you, like I said at the earlier part of the review, I will be catching up on it. You all, thank you so much for sticking in with your auntie and letting me be me, authentically me, auntie. Love y'all to death. Love y'all to life. I don't wish death upon any of my subscribers or my nieces or my nephews. I love y'all to life until we see each other again. Bye-bye.